We have two more. The next one up is coming to you from Mexico City, Mexico. It's Allie Systems. Presenting for Allie Systems is Alex Sandoval. Give him a big round of applause.
Hi, I'm Alex, CEO of Allie Systems. We make machines speak and translate them into actions on the factory floor. Manufacturing is a broken system. Strained supply chains, inefficiencies, and downtime. We've thrown robots and automation at the problem, but downtime is costing us a $1.5 trillion sinkhole. It is urgent that we solve the foundation of the real-world economy now. The time is now when supply chain is rapidly changing. Due to disruptions caused by the global pandemic, trade wars, it is urgent that we do this now. The last few years have taught us and exemplified the fragility of our supply chains. A war in Ukraine with over-indexed grain production can nearly costed us a historical food crisis. The same can be said for steel, semiconductors, and copper, who bear the same problems. It is costly and slow for them to ramp up production. Emerging markets, the nearshoring is becoming the strategic pivot. Emerging markets are set to become the next global manufacturing powerhouses and the world's biggest economies in the next 50 years. As a Latin America, I feel very bullish about countries like Mexico and Latin America that are set to receive an $800 billion wave of production demand. But even as nearshoring and reshoring face tailwinds, the supply to meet demand is going to be an uphill battle. This is why we created Allie. Allie is a CapEx-light infrastructure that allows manufacturers to turn legacy operations into intelligent factories. We started with this hardware device. Stage camera, please. We call it the Allie Gateway. It has built-in code that supports the most widely used industrial communication protocols, allowing us to connect with over 90% of industrial machinery categories, sensors, and PLCs. It has built-in code processing data where we're able to run machine learning algorithms at a local level, enabling our clients for business continuity in the case of connectivity disruption or even force majeure. We install them in our clients' sites. It sits next to the machines, and it's pulling in data points from processes, from machines, and machine health. A single line can capture over 200,000 data points, giving us unparalleled access to a unique data set that has previously been unused and lived in a silo. With integrated ERP systems and maintenance data, Allie becomes the factory's central source of truth and a brain. We take all of this data, model it, and turn it into intelligent operations to enable our software component. Please move to demo. One of our cement clients loses $500,000 every hour their oven is not in production mode, making them incredibly sensitive to downtime. We're tracking every single one of their machinery. Machine learning algorithms detect irregular activity and machine failure. Here's what makes us different to all the other manufacturing software solutions out there. We don't stop at the alerts. Because we're able to track corrective action, we're able to give the factories the probable root cause and the recommended course of action. Years and years of factory know-how now gets to live on in a system, democratizing information for all of the operators in the factory. In our efficiency model, we're tracking productivity, availability, quality, and cost. We can detect if there's inconsistency in a specific mixture and if there's product wastage in a specific station. We'll tell you where it is, why it happened, and what to do about it. The beauty of our model is every single action on the platform ultimately improves our algorithms in very specific segments, creating network effects that benefit every single customer on our platform. Now, we thought really hard in an industry where every second counts, how can we make decision maker even simpler and faster? So we build an assistant that is trained with all of this data. You can ask it anything about your operation. Let's demonstrate. Ernie, can you please ask it to compare operational efficiency in the last 30 days by station and by month? We've asked it, you're able to do root causes analysis on downtime. You can do comparative analysis on efficiency between productivity shifts. We are the first of our kind to do generative AI for manufacturing. This is to fill a vacuum in the labor market for an aging population that needs to quickly upskill on the digital skills needed for smart manufacturing. There you go. This would have taken 2 weeks of data crunching to be able, and now you can solve it in seconds. Back to presentation. So imagine a world of Allie-enabled factories running AI-powered operations to enable dynamic supply chains to meet rapidly changing market conditions. We're proud to say that in 12 months, we have achieved 7 figures of revenue. We have $400 million being monitored and trained on Allie in foundational use cases with paying customers in cement, steel, and food and beverage.
You got to wrap it up.
We've proven ourselves in Latin America, and we're ready to take on the world. Thank you.
Very good. Charles, let's start with you. You're still writing, so I'm like a waiter.
Can you talk about what it takes to turn on one of your customers? Integration, onboarding, like what's that process like?
So we first start with a diagnosis. We take in all of their data, put it to data cleansing, and understand the efficiency opportunities that they have, adding value in the beginning at the pre-sale level. Then we do a diagnosis of the critical machinery that will add the most value, the Pareto, the 20% that will add efficiency. We will install it and put our devices in. A device can take a few hours per set of machines, and then we will train the operators and get live and running. The process from sale to activation will take around 2 months.
And can you cover all of the devices in their environment? Are there certain classes of things you can't monitor an instrument? Or?
What's great about our system is that we can connect to old machines that are legacy systems and also modern systems, directly connected to the PLCs of those machines.
Thank you.
Yep, Mamoon?
Yeah, I'm curious about the why now. Besides the generative AI stuff, what's motivating your customers to engage with you right now and pay you 7 figures?
So emerging markets, like companies like Mexico, they're pressured. One of the states where we have an office, Monterrey, Tesla has announced that it's coming, Tata, Foxconn. The pressure is on to digitize and able to defend themselves from newcomers, and they need to do this now if they want to capture the majority of value that is going to be caused from reshoring and nearshoring.
And do they have internal ROI studies around, hey, like, you know, we're losing so much in waste, and whether it's labor or uptime on our equipment?
Well, surprisingly, some of our clients don't even know how much they're losing. So when they talk to us, we're able to model data on our pre-existing models and tell them where the opportunity lies in terms of processes and machinery. Some clients that already do, we're able to provide generative AI for advanced analytics to make them not reactive, but actually proactive.
Great. Matthew?
Thank you.
Manufacturing is hard everywhere, but it's really hard in emerging markets, especially developing ones that are getting a lot of influx of new customers. What enables you uniquely to scale in that kind of environment?
So I worked on predictive analytics for the turbine industry and thermoelectric power plants, being able to work on predictive models to do alarms. Then I spent 10 years, I lived in Asia, Europe, the United States, building SaaS products for different companies like Rappi, Oracle, and Google Cloud. I come from a manufacturing background, 3rd generation, and I joined all of our experience to be able to bring modern-day SaaS into a legacy industry like manufacturing.
Mar?
Yeah, I think if you can educate me a little bit about the market, like you mentioned Tesla and Foxconn, those are folks that are already observing their machines. They're super sophisticated factories.
Yeah.
You talk about the legacy factories, like in a country like Mexico, who are you selling to? Are you selling to the little factories, to the Teslas?
Yeah.
I don't think so, but
We
I
are,
don't know.
just to give you a stat, there's about 3 to 4 million factories in Latin America, less than 10% of penetration in software. Mexico alone has 600,000 factories.
Okay, out of those 3 and 4 million, how big are they? Like, what's the, you know what I'm saying? Like the distribution.
The larger industrial conglomerates represent about 10% of that market. That's who we are addressing
So
today.
there's a long tail of smaller factories.
No, the
opposite.
large industrial conglomerates on the other side of the pyramid.
Okay.
That's who we are targeting.
Does that answer your question?
Yeah, I think one more question, one more, sorry. Are you saying those folks are not currently observing their machines?
Yes.
Okay.
That did it. All right, Dana?
Yeah, I mean, it's sort of along the same lines of questioning, which is, I mean, are you really only working with kind of older factories? Is that what happens?
Typically,
when,
an industrial conglomerate will have a
Yeah.
mix. They will have very modern machines,
Yeah.
Siemens 2023 equipment with legacy machinery, and they're all living in the same line. The problem that automation does not equal digitalization. This industrial conglomerate can have a very new machine with very advanced sensors and controls, but it lives in a silo. It's not connected to other systems. You can't be able to draw correlations and patterns, and that's where we really come in.
So I mean, as venture capitalists, we always want to be investing into like the growth markets, right? And so what happens when everything's modernized and working? Where do you fit in?
Well, we're a SaaS model. So if they disconnect, they're going to go back to square one.
Yeah, it's surprising that there's no,
Yeah.
big ERP, Oracle software that comes in and says, I'm going to help you run your factory.
ERP softwares try to do that. They have very limited capability, as we all know.
So maybe there are, but they're terrible. They're coming in. Okay.
Yeah.
Marissa?
I think overall, looking at the system, there's a lot of different challenging parts. I guess I want to hear from you which pieces are the most challenging in terms of, obviously, you've got to get the devices and the sensors into the factories. Then you've got to get the data all together. Then you've got to analyze it.
Correct.
And my hunch is actually that the software part of it is on the easier side, and it's actually the deployment of the hardware and
I would
getting a
say-
factory wired up that actually might be where the difficulty is.
The biggest challenge we've encountered, it's very easy for us to sell at the top of the chain. But when you go to the lowest stakeholder working in the facility, convincing them to adopt the software. We've made the experience, as you can see from our software, super easy. It looks like a B2C app, so it actually makes their life easier. But we're also realigning incentives, both from an emotional and financial level. So every time an operator hits a productivity target or a line, we'll put in, one of our clients requested a rock song, so we'll play it for them to make them happy and improve their quality of life. But we're also aligning efficiency targets. So if a client is able to drive incremental productivity, those efficiency gains are then translated back into the operator.
Moon?
Could you talk about maybe one of your multinational type customers and what they would pay you on a per factory basis based on number of machines, sensors?
I'll give you an example of one of our existing client. They're one of the largest ham producers in the region. They export to 45 countries. They're a $5 billion in revenue. They have over 35 facilities, and we're currently onboarded in 4. That's a typical ICP.
And in those 4 facilities, how many machines are you hooked up to? How many
About
sensors?
45 per line.
And what do they like about your product?
Productivity gains. So we are averaging about 15% in increased productivity from a line. So if one of your lines is producing $400 million, which is like kind of the average, we're talking about more than $40 million from $40 to $50 million in increased gains.
Is that predictive? Is that improvements in predictive maintenance or downtime reduction?
We have 3 avenues. So one of them is downtime reduction. The other one is reduction in product wastage. So you can reduce costs, and then you can also reduce maintenance costs by optimizing OpEx through analytics.
Okay, thank you very much. Give them a round of applause.
Thank you so much. Thank you.